For some strange reason, Silent Hill has been a franchise I've always stayed away from, even though survival horror is by far my favorite genre. I've been getting constant comments about it for years, but I just never got around to playing. Until today. With the release of the new Silent Hill 2 remake, I realized I finally had a chance to jump headfirst into this amazing series. And let me tell you, I regret everything. Over the last few days, the terrifying creatures I've borne witness to, the schizo atmosphere changing back and forth constantly, the crazy people I met in that accursed town, and the nightmarish delusions I've had to endure have given me a trauma unlike anything I've ever experienced. Except for the nurses, man. Honestly, I was begging for them to beat my ass senseless. But enough with the gooning, you sickos. I know what you're all here for. You want to see if it's possible to beat Silent Hill 2 using only the board. So let's find out, shall we? Now, in order for you all to understand why I'd even show up to a haunted town in the first place, I need to tell you about the letter. Specifically, the letter I got from Mary, my dead wife. Yes, you heard that right. She sent that shit straight from the grave through email. I printed it. Anyway, she told me about how much she missed me, how much she loved the town of Silent Hill, and that if I was down to see her, she'd be waiting for me there. It was either the world's best prank or my dead wife really came back to life. And you know what? I had faith. I had faith that my sweet, sweet Mary was waiting for me somewhere in Silent Hill, and I would stop at nothing to have her back. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the moment I showed up there, I got some bad jujus. I mean, the road was blocked off, with the only way forward being through the creepy dark woods. Oh, hell no.
I will eat your soul.
Hello? Who's there? Who is it? I pressed on until I eventually came across a random girl out in the middle of a cemetery. Her name was Angela, and there was something off about her.
I'm looking for my mama.
Yeah, she was on crack. Of course, being the little silly guy I am, I did try to flirt with her before leaving, but she really wasn't having it.
Did you want anything else?
Oh, the awkwardness. All I could do at that point was slowly slither away into the fog as I prayed I never came across that girl again. This town was definitely weird, but I was sure things would start getting more normal once I got further in. Wait, what's that? Oh my god. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm good on all that. I love you, Mary, but not that much. But of course, I couldn't give up that easy. So against my better judgment, I pushed on, past the trails of blood, deeper into the endless wall of fog, through the empty backyards, until I... Oh, hell no, what the f... Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm out of here. What the hell was going on around here, man? What was that thing? Ain't no way I was going that way now. But the road was out, and the other routes were blocked. If I wanted to see my Mary, I didn't really have any other options. Well, I mean... maybe I was just jumping the gun, right? I mean, that could have been a child, or a dog. Perhaps it was even a cat. Yeah, that had to be it. It was a cat. I was clearly just overreacting. I followed that trail of blood into a random garage, made my way through a dilapidated house, and came across a creature beyond the limits of human comprehension. The only weapon I could defend myself with was a board nailed to the window, and you better believe I put that thing to work. I beat that demon silly, dodging its attacks, avoiding its acidic puke, and when I finally got it on the ground, I went to work. Hitting, stomping, screaming over and over, endlessly crunching bones and internal organs until all that was left was nothing more than a puddle of flesh. Oh no, did I go a bit overboard there? I mean, was that really necessary? The poor creature, I shattered every bone in its body multiple times. Wait, no, that was definitely justified. Yeah, I was the one defending myself. There's no reason to feel any shame. That monster can go to hell. My conscience aside, things were different now. I needed to get serious. There was something off about this town, and I was gonna be damned to see Mary get killed by some disgusting monster. I had to find her, and quick. In the next room, I found a heroin needle in some random plastic case, and I couldn't believe my luck. That is, until I went outside and came across a dead body next to a letter that had run away scribbled across it dozens of times. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. As I inched my way closer and closer to that corner, I couldn't help but clench my ass in fear. What if I had to kill another monster? I didn't know that I had the guts to... Oh, God! Die! There was also this naked guy with a thick ass stumbling his way down the street, so I beat his ass too. And just when I thought I had him, the little guy started slithering across the ground like some kind of brain-dead Zamboni. Luckily, I was able to catch up to him pretty easily and ended his pathetic existence permanently. It was around here I started to wonder where everyone was. Were they hiding in their houses in fear, or were they simply unaware of what had happened to their beautiful little town over the last few days? I didn't know the answer to that question, but I did know one thing. There was no one to arrest me for anything. I could do whatever the hell I wanted. So I went into shop after shop, breaking windows, stealing supplies, beating some more ass, and getting mega rich in the process. Oh, hell yeah, baby, a quarter! Woo! It was so much fun. And look at all the windows that were free to be broken. A random car on the side of the road? Not safe. A cute little business that an innocent family was relying on to pay the bills? Glass shattered everywhere. I mean, come on. You can't just drop me in the middle of an abandoned town and not expect me to take full advantage of it. But enough of that. It was time to get serious. I came across an apartment building with the front doors locked, and although I'd never been there in my life, something about it called to me. What I was looking for was surely inside. But where the hell was the key? Sure, I probably could have broken one of its windows and crawled my way inside, but what fun would that be? So I continued my way through Silent Hill, shattering every window along my path, and when I got to a bar in the middle of town, a note directed me to a nearby building that likely had the very key I was looking for. Well, that was convenient. So I pushed on, beating more monsters into submission and finding tons of supplies that would come in handy later. It was around this point I started to realize that getting hit by these disgusting creatures probably wasn't the greatest of ideas. Since I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and this was my very first playthrough of the game, I had no idea what was coming up next. There could have been boss fights, a massive horde of monsters, or hell, maybe I'd even have to fight some armed humans if things turned out bad enough. The future was uncertain, and because I was only able to take a hit or two before dying, I knew I was gonna have to ration my healing items like my life depended on it. After cleaning up the streets some more, I came across the building the note was referring to and safely made my way to the top floor. Inside one of the rooms was a mystery hole. I immediately jammed my arm in there, and lo and behold, I pulled out a little button. Thanks, mystery hole! This button was used on the bar's jukebox, where I played a record, had a beautiful flashback, felt happy for the first time in a long time, and then the thing fucking exploded. Thankfully, a key appeared out of nowhere, so that was good, I guess. This key allowed me to open the back door, which led me down an alleyway where I broke some more windows, and when I finally got to the end of the road, I found yet another key. I was about to celebrate, but holy shit, it was an ambush. Knowing I'd be killed in 3 seconds if I tried to defend myself, I decided to take the coward's route. I ran for my damn life, pushing through the hellscape Silent Hill had transformed into, avoiding the creatures that were surrounding me from all sides, and when I finally made my way inside the apartment complex, I was able to take a breather. Now, if you thought the town was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe, I could barely even shuffle my way through there without brushing elbows with the spooky creatures of the night. This place was just a recipe for disaster, and I knew right away that my Mary was nowhere near there. But, wait a minute. Oh my god, a puzzle box. I must solve it. Now, thankfully, after making my way down an ominous hallway on the second floor, I was able to snatch up a free flashlight, but oh god, what the hell is that? Oh, it's all legs! I mean, I was a fan of legs, believe me, but because I didn't know if these things were men's or women's legs, I thought it best to take them out just to be safe. And my lord, this guy put up a fight. He was nothing like the little worms I was used to clobbering. No, he dodged every attack I threw at him and slapped me silly. I almost felt like he was bullying me. After taking a little more punishment, I was somehow able to take that coward out, and I made sure he'd never be able to use those legs ever again. I continued exploring the apartment, opening drawers, searching rooms, and leave me alone! God, I needed to get the hell out of here. My new game plan was to leave ASAP, even plunging through the nearest window if I had to. And would you look at that? The key to the back door was waiting for me on the other side of some iron bars. Oh, hell yeah. Looks like God was finally on my— Ah! You little shit! Get back here right now! I'm gonna strangle you! Bro, I think she broke half my fingers. The goal changed. Now, instead of leaving as soon as possible, I swore to get vengeance on that little girl by breaking her fingers. It was only fair. I gave chase immediately, taking out some more guys, squishing some bugs, solving some puzzles, and overall just plowing through that place. I was taking some damage with each fight I found myself in, which wasn't ideal, but it was nothing to cry about. I had a good store of healing items and felt good if I came across any boss fights. And speak of the devil, look at who I came across on my journey to beat that little girl. Itty bitty Pyramid Head. He was trying to intimidate me from the other side of some bars, but it wasn't working. With all the horrors I'd already seen that day, you think some loser with a chrome dome was gonna scare me? Yeah, you're gonna have to try harder than that, idiot boy. I flipped the guy off before heading back into the darkness. Shortly after that, I got my hands on the handgun. Now, normally, any sane person would use this thing to defend themselves in this terrible situation. But no, not me, I say. If I wanted to find Mary, I was gonna have to earn her back, and that involved me giving these monsters a fair shot. So, I put that thing in my back pocket and forgot about it. Continuing on, I fought some more sexy leg monsters, scoured some more rooms, took my first dose of heroin, and came across, Oh, yeah, that's real nice. In the poopy toilet room was a massive puzzle, and I kid you not, I spent 30 minutes in there trying to figure the damn thing out before throwing in the towel and looking up a tutorial. It was shameful, I know, but give a brother a break. My brain was completely fried. On some good news, I came across my very first human. His name was Eddie, and he was holed up in one of the apartment bathrooms that also just so happened to have a dead body piled in the fridge. He tried telling me that the dead guy wasn't his doing and that he was as confused as I was. I didn't quite believe the guy, but since there was no proof that he'd done it, I decided to let it slide. Besides, I wasn't about to make an enemy of the only human I'd seen since arriving in the shithole of a town. I told Eddie that I was friendly, that I loved him very much, and that I'd be back to check in on him later. So, things were same old, same old. I fought some more demons, found some more puzzle pieces, and marched on. I'd been slowly getting better at fighting the sexy legs, and I was even able to get through some fights without taking damage. I was feeling pretty unstoppable and was proud of my progress. A couple hours after finding Eddie, I'd finally managed to get every piece for the puzzle box in the lobby, and I was just itching to solve it. It took quite a bit of trial and error, and to be honest, I don't even know how I solved the thing, but I did. And look at what I got. Another key. Oh, come on, man. Another key. Another key. All I get is keys. So whatever, I went to the room the key led to, and inside, I saw Pyramid Head having some fun with a pair of legs. It was disgusting and totally immoral, but not immoral enough for me to not want to watch, so I slipped into the nearby closet and readied my popcorn. Well, that was apparently a horrible decision, because as it turns out, Pyramid Head could see right through the doors like they weren't even there at all. So I did the only thing I could think to do. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
Okay, I'll catch you later then.
Oh wait, that actually worked? Well, damn. After beating on the legs he'd forcibly assaulted in front of my eyes, I followed after him into the next building, and my god, what a mistake that was. Allow me to introduce you all to hell. Now sure, I was in some new place and the atmosphere was ominous and creepy as hell, but I wasn't scared, not even a little. I'd been holding my own just fine until now, and it was gonna take a little more than a building makeover for me to run home crying. Oh no. Oh god, it's a new enemy type. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that's nice. Puking, huh? Great, as if I didn't have enough to worry about. So yeah, as you can imagine, I spent the next 20 minutes running around these new apartments like a headless chicken, strategically taking out enemies, looting supplies, and trying my best to map out this endless labyrinthian maze. I also had to put my hand deep in a used toilet, but I'd rather not talk about that. I'd had enough of these damn apartments for one lifetime, so after fighting myself in the mirror for a few minutes, I booked it out of there. At this point, I was looking for anything. A door, a window. Hell, I'd even dolphin dive into the nearest toilet if it led to some kind of escape route. Thankfully, after doing some mind-numbing puzzles, I was able to unlock a door with the letter S on it, and I could just feel that on the other side lay my freedom. But when I got to the other side, guess who was waiting for me? It was Pyramid Head. He'd just finished his time with the leg monster and was looking for seconds. And unfortunately, my ass was on the menu. Not wanting to have my booty pounded the same day I was supposed to meet my long dead but somehow still alive wife, I clutched that wooden board tight in my hands and prayed to the Lord for some kind of miracle. And I was gonna need one if I was gonna survive this, because just look at the guy. I mean, what the hell? I was supposed to beat that with just a wooden board? Are you kidding me? Well, even if the odds were stacked against me, I fought him, and I immediately got annihilated. This repeated again and again and again. Luckily, I was able to take advantage of my invincibility frames when the guy went to attack me, but I was really only able to get a hit or two off during his recovery because otherwise the big jerk would just push me. He was a real piece of shit. The battle raged on. Pyramid Head swinging at me, me dodging and scurrying up to him like a little cockroach, and then slamming those rusty nails into his godlike physique. For some reason, the clown only had 2 moves in his kit, so beating him was pretty simple. That is, until phase 2 started. All of a sudden, the apartments around us began shaking, and because the dumbass was wearing such a big helmet, he was thrown off balance. I got to work right away, cracking him over the back with my board in hopes of shattering his spine, but it just wasn't enough. Pyramid was pissed now, speed walking at me as he threw out attack after attack. I was tempted to apologize and sprint out of there as fast as I could, but then what? Be trapped in here forever without any way to find my precious Mary? Hell no. I had to fight. I needed to be a man. And wouldn't you believe it? I actually did it. I beat Pyramid Head. Or at least some kind of siren sounded off, glitching the guy out. Ain't no way was I just gonna let him walk away. I cracked that bastard over the head. Oh! Oh my god, chill out, weirdo! I was just kidding! God, he was such a sore loser. Like, I'd let him get the last hit in, though. Hey, dipshit! You're not gonna get away with... Okay, next time around, I just let the guy go with a warning, and, that was that. I'm not sure why he left my ass unplundered, but hey, I wasn't complaining. I emerged out into the streets for the first time in what felt like years, and man, was it ever good to be back. After nursing my window breaking addiction some more, I came across a little girl hanging out on some wall, and... wait a minute. It was her! That little brat. I told her she had some nerve breaking my fingers like that, and guess what? She just laughed in my face, calling me a big dum-dum. Unfortunately, before I could get close enough to yank her down and beat her little ass, the vermin escaped off to the other side. Someday, but not today. After that little encounter, I headed over to Rosewater Park. It was Mary's in my special little spot where I'd actually proposed to her many years ago, and I had a feeling that if Mary was anywhere in Silent Hill, it would be there. Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't find Mary there, but I found something.
I love you.
Oh, she looks just like Mary, only hotter. She told me her name was Maria, which sounded awfully close to my wife's name, and she told me that she liked me. I backed off, telling her that I was faithful to my wife, but before I could escape, she called me back. She told me that she wouldn't put a finger on me and that she was just teasing. Then, she asked me where my wife was. I told her that I didn't know. However, I knew she was somewhere in Silent Hill, and I wasn't gonna stop until I found her. And just my luck, Maria told me she'd help me find her. Woo! No, wait, that's actually not good. The temptations would be way too hard to fight against if she came with me. That touch alone was almost enough to get me to completely forget about my wife's existence by itself. And she wanted to hang out with me for the day? But at the same time, having 4 eyes was definitely better than 2, and having Maria with me would double my chances of finding Mary. That was definitely true, and I wasn't just saying that because Maria was super hot.
Unless you have somewhere else to be. Something else to do.
I told you I'm already taken, don't touch me. So, I took her up on the offer, and together, we went to find my dead wife. We headed up out of Rosewater Park and into some streets of Silent Hill I hadn't been to before. I didn't know if I'd see any monsters with Maria around, but I was praying to the Lord above that I was just a lunatic who'd been hallucinating this entire time. I mean, that was plausible, right? Yeah, I was just crazy. There was no way monsters were real. I just... Oh, no. Stay away from me, you freak of nature. Oh, what is it doing? Oh, that's nice. It's blending into the scenery. Maybe it's friendly. Run, Maria! Run for your fucking life! Lightly jog away before it gets us, quick! Thankfully, that demon didn't seem to want to follow us any further, so in the meantime, I decided to do some looting. I was getting pretty low on healing items thanks to old Pyramid Head, and I knew things were only gonna get— Oh! Maria, run! Oh my god. Boys, she's holding it back. Look at her, refusing to back down in the face of adversity. Oh, never mind. So of course, I helped her. Then had a 1v1 with the leg monster and one without taking a single hit. You like that, huh? You like that? Woo! Yeah!
Don't look at him, look at me. Look at me.
Sorry.
For the next 30 minutes, I spent my time trying to decode the nearby hotel's puzzle, all so that I could get through a fence that could be easily climbed. But, you know, Maria didn't want to break her fingernails. Maybe you're thinking I'm dumb for taking such a long time on such a simple puzzle, but listen to me, boys. This damn riddle was worded so poorly, and I kept putting the wrong code into the safe that had the key. I mean, this bitch literally had me pulling out a calculator mid-gameplay. I damn near had to input quadratic equations to solve this shit. God, I better never see the director of this game in real life, man. I swear to God. We continued on until we came across a massive crater in the middle of the street. It clearly wasn't safe to pass through, so we had to take a detour. We headed over to a nearby fence, and before I could figure out how to open the damn thing, a group of monsters came up behind us. I was real tempted to throw Maria at them so I could make my escape, but thankfully the fence was unlocked. I used my board to lock it behind us, which turned me weaponless. Yet, as it just so happened, not even a few feet away was a solid metal pipe stuck in a car's engine. So convenient. And what an upgrade. Just look at the swing on this baby. Oh, I was so ready to break some fresh bones, baby. A little bit up ahead was the hospital, and man, I'm not exaggerating when I say this place was a complete nightmare. But it was also my favorite area in the entire game. If you're confused by that, Just wait, you'll see what I mean soon. Maria and I headed deeper into the abandoned hospital, hearing odd noises here and there, walking into room after room until eventually we made our way into the creepy dark basement of death. There were plenty of leg monsters down there, and Maria wasn't exactly pulling her weight during these brawls, but overall, I was doing pretty well. We turned on the generator, headed to the second floor, and it was there Maria started to feel sick. She told me that she couldn't go on any longer, and that if I wanted, I could curl up next to her as we both drifted off to sleep. Then she started moaning. Ugh. Yeah, I'm good on all that, but forget about her. Boys, listen to me. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Look right there. Do you see what I see? That's right, it's a scantily clad nurse, and she's feisty. Just look at her go! God damn, I didn't know whether it'd be smarter to defend myself or flirt with the damn thing. But honestly, hitting women, that wasn't something I could just do. I was raised to— oh, okay, fuck it. Equal rights and equal left. This is purely self-defense. Yeah, she definitely wasn't gonna get up after that. Well, there goes all my feminist viewers. If you were entertained by that fight, believe me when I say I was just getting started. This hospital was full of hot nurses, charging me like mad from every corner of every hallway. Their moves were different from that of the other demons I'd encountered. They were more planned out, more methodical. I was a bit clumsy in defending myself at first, but slowly and over the course of many battles, I learned their moves, their strategies, and their weaknesses. If somebody was in need of a more efficient domestic abuser, I don't think they could have found a more qualified guy than me. So yeah, what do you want me to say? I spent the next hour of my life relentlessly beating women. It's funny, okay? I'm tired of pretending it's not. As I continued on my dastardly little adventure, I came across a shotgun in one of the patient rooms. I beat some more ass. I found myself incredibly tempted to ditch my wife and Maria for one of the nurses. Shook myself out of that disgusting mindset. Did some looting, did some puzzles, did some more ass beating, puzzles, and more puzzles, and then finally, after what seemed like an eternity, I made my way to the hospital roof. Why was I there? I had no idea. But I got this key, so I just— wait, please don't hurt me. Not before I show you this magic trick, I beg of you.
Fuck you.
3 spinal fractures, 1 skull fracture, and a nasty bruise on my ass. And I had offered him my hand in friendship. That piece of garbage was gonna pay. It was okay though, because my luck was turning around for the better. In the room next to me was that little girl from earlier, and just look at how scared she was. Oh, don't worry, little girl. I'll only break a few of your fingers. Before I could start, though, she ran. I caught up to her pretty easily. She tricked me into thinking Mary was in the next room, and before I knew it, I was trapped. That little brat laughed in my face and told me she wished I was dead. Oh, I swear to God, man. That kid was gonna get every finger broken when I was able to escape. No. You know what? I'd do more than that. I'd cripple her for life. Unlock this door now so I can kill you. So long story short, she refused to let me out. A terrifying monster emerged from the ceiling, and I was expected to defend myself with nothing more than my steel pipe. Now, if you found yourself in this situation, what would you do? Would you cry? Maybe beg for mercy? If so, I wouldn't blame you. Not only was this guy unpredictable and sneaky as hell, coming out of the ceiling at the most random times to plow me into the next dimension, he was also damn near impossible to hit. It was like trying to hit a piñata that hit back, all while trying to suck you up its little butthole mouth. Still, I refused to give up. I didn't make it this far just to die to some little girl's prank. I swung at that creature hard, missing half the time, but still making enough contact to know I was making a difference. I dodged, I swung, I watched. I got hit, and eventually I was able to whittle that disgusting creature down to his next phase. And my lord, it was enough to give Doom Guy nightmares. The butthole mouth creature turned into a spider-like thing, similar to that toy in Toy Story, and it started going sicko mode. I hit it with everything I had. I used heal after heal. I took punishment after punishment. And finally, after being reduced down to just a handful of healing items, the monster was defeated. I'd done it, boys, and on my very first try. Before I could celebrate though, his twin brother kidnapped me and dropped me off into what I can only describe as the pits of hell. Kinda similar to the apartments, actually. And, oh, great. It was another puzzle box. To be honest with you, there's not much to talk about here. It was just the hospital all over again, but this time with new puzzles. Sure, I fought a new kind of nurse that was a lot harder than the normal version, but do I really need to go over that? Their asses were beaten to a pulp just like everyone else before them. Yeah, 2v1s were a bit of a problem, and okay, I died a lot, but it wasn't like anything here was impossible. My unquenchable thirst for equal rights was all that was needed to push me through to the next area. And would you look at that? After hours and hours of pain and misery, I was finally able to open that stupid little box. And inside was not a damn thing. Are you kidding me? I spent all that time running around like an idiot, beating ass, taking hits, and collecting little treasures. All that so I could return to a pile of nothing?
Unacceptable!
Oh, would you look at that? It's the way out of here. But before leaving, I paused. Maria, she was still sleeping somewhere in this run-down hospital. And could I really call myself a man if I just left her behind? No. We were a team now, and she'd gone out of her way to help me find my wife. Sure, she flirted with me a little too much, and yeah, she was a bit of a burden, but I just couldn't leave her to die. So I made my way around the hospital, came across Maria in the basement, got lectured on how much of a loser I was for leaving her all alone, contemplated pushing her over one of the endless abysses, plunging her into an eternity of darkness, because who the hell did she think she was? And then, right as we were finally getting ready to leave that place once and for all, Maria just had to ruin the moment.
Something doesn't feel right.
Look, Maria, everything's gonna be fine, okay? I'm sure this door's gonna lead straight to the exit, and there won't be anything— Oh, Jesus Christ, run for your fucking life! Oh God, he's coming, hurry! Go, Maria, go! Oh, you absolute moron! What are you doing? Hurry! Get in! Get— Oh! Oh! Oh!
My heart! I loved her!
Maria was gone, and I was all alone. I was able to escape the hospital after that whole debacle, so after slapping around a few more enemies outside and making my way through the labyrinthian hellhole, I came across an ominous telephone ringing on some cold, lonely street. And as if that situation wasn't enough to make me want to run home and cry into a pillow all night, Mary was still nowhere to be found. Dude, could I just find her already? I mean, come on, it wasn't even worth it anymore. From all the PTSD I'd built up over the past few hours, she'd leave me anyway. The only thing keeping me going was the sunk cost fallacy. It was around this point I came across the local history museum, close to where I first encountered Maria. The place was boring as hell, which I expected, but it did have one interesting thing about it, a seemingly endless staircase that led into an underground chamber, which itself led to a mysterious hole. And for some reason, I thought it was a brilliant idea to jump into it. I woke up 17 hours later on a rusty, cold floor, and I had no idea where the hell I was. But it almost looked like some kind of prison lunchroom. And wow, my hunch was actually right. It was an underground prison, meaning up ahead was more puzzles, more enemies, and more running around until I found one of a dozen random keys that may or may not have led out of there. So yeah, the prison was the same as every other section in the game. Kill monsters, unlock doors, tinker with a puzzle, get stuck for 30 minutes as I figured out where to go next, more puzzles, more enemies, more loot. Oh God, make it stop. Please, please, Donald Trump, save me now, please. But hey, here's something cool. The leg monsters could crawl on walls now. Yeah, that was, that was something. They were pretty easy to deal with, all things considered, so I'm not even gonna talk about them. Further on, I dropped into a few more holes, and then, like magic, I found myself in some kind of underground maze system. In one of the many rooms was Angela going schizo like everyone else in this godforsaken town, and before I could slap some sense into her, a terrifying reality pinned me up against the wall. It was Angela's father, and this guy wasn't messing around. I did what any sane person would do in that situation, lightly jogged away before I was eaten. I went through room after room, dodging Angela's father when necessary, giving him a few good slaps, ran away some more, and right when I thought maybe I'd lost the guy, he burst through a nearby wall and forced me to fight him. Here, I truly thought my coupon for life was about to expire. I mean, look at the guy. That's a whole lot of meat, and to be quite honest, I didn't know if the little tiddlywinks I was throwing at him were even doing anything. But still, what else could I do? The road had run out. It was either fight or die. I swung my pipe at him over and over again, each time screaming my heart out, dodging perfectly in between until finally, Angela's father threw up the white flag, declaring me the victor. Damn, Angela, calm down. That's a step.
Don't order me around.
I tried bragging to her that I won the fight my first try without even taking a single hit, and like I expected, she belittled my achievements and made fun of me. Then she broke down into tears again.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
After leaving Angela to fend for herself, I came across a tunnel of limbs, and as much as I wouldn't have minded being smacked on the ass by 1,000 palms, first I thought it'd be a better idea to go and see what this place was all about, and just look at who I found. I could hardly believe it. Maria was alive and well, and hell, she was even flirting with me. Oh, what a miracle. But at the same time, something about her didn't feel right. I mean, didn't I just see her die before my very eyes? There was something evil afoot here, and I didn't feel comfortable getting mixed up in it.
Don't you want to touch me?
To be honest, I'm not going to go too in-depth here. This entire section was essentially a labyrinth of endless cockroaches, deep holes to put my little fingies into, tons of annoying cage guys to deal with, random rooms and hallways that stretched off into infinity, and at the end of it all, I even had a little encounter with Pyramid Head himself. He was a coward, as usual, taking every insult and taunt I threw his way like a good little boy. I despised his weakness. Anyway, with 12 syringes and 15 health bottles at my disposal, I was eventually able to make my way into Maria's cell. But, just like before, she was dead. Oh God, I didn't know how many times I could take this heartbreak, man. I tried beating her corpse to get some closure, but it just wasn't working, so I got out of there. Luckily, Pyramid Head's sword was conveniently placed in a perfect spot for me to use it, so I grabbed it, headed into the hallway of arms and fingies, and dove in head first. I had a few rogue hands slap my ass on the way through, but other than that, I was rolling. I could smell the finish line, and I was confident that nothing was gonna stop me. That is, until I met up again with Eddie. This man was completely unhinged. He was talking to me as if I had been his bully in high school, going off about how much of a jerk I was, all the while pointing his revolver at me. He then shot a random corpse a few times, and when I told him to back off, he went all Joker on me.
You're just like the rest of them, James. But you've been laughing at me all along. Ever since we first met. You ain't laughing now, are you?
Oh, hell nah. I've seen this before. Ain't no way am I gonna end up like Murray. It was in that moment an epic battle ensued. Eddie and I were both in some meat freezer, him armed with his trusty revolver and me armed with my trusty pipe. I thought the fight was a bit unfair, to be honest, but I was a real man, and real men never complain. Except I couldn't find the tubby bastard. Where the hell was he? He could have been hiding anywhere, and I was starting to oh! Don't you touch me with those sausage fingers. Yeah!
Fast as fuck.
Oh my God, he was quick for a fat boy. I chased his ass down, went in for the hit, and got absolutely destroyed. I of course retaliated with some hits of my own, but this wasn't going to be sustainable. He nearly killed me in one shot, and who knew how much health he had? It was time to channel my inner Neo. Oh, this strategy was perfect. Eddie didn't know about my Dark Souls invincibility frames, so although he tried his very best, I was able to break him down into a puddle of mush. I was not gonna take this betrayal sitting down, and Eddie was fully aware of that. So, halfway into the fight, he went into phase 2. During this phase, there was smoke everywhere, and it was impossible to see anything. Eddie came up behind me and slammed my ham, then ran away laughing. I couldn't believe I was taking punishment from that little rat. This fight went on for a while. Me dodging Eddie's shots, me crushing his bones and internal organs with my heavy pipe, him running away because he was a little coward, and finally, when all was said and done, I gave him one final swing and the guy was done for. I'd broken the fat boy's arm, but oh Jesus, he was still going strong. This was a triple-faced boss fight. The meat was moving now, and Eddie was even more dangerous than before, packing double shots like they were nothing. I kept up with his tubby ass and pounded him some more, crunching every last bone in his face. Sure, sometimes I took some punishment myself, but that didn't matter. I had too many healing items to fail now, and I knew Eddie's time was coming to an end. His meat would make a fine dish, and I was gonna pound that shit raw. One thing led to another, I went on an absolutely vicious assault, and Eddie was finally taken care of. I'd murdered that kid with my bare hands. Of course, it was completely in self-defense, but still, I couldn't help but feel a little guilty. When I stepped outside, there was a little boat waiting for me, and that boat led to a massive hotel out in the middle of a lake. This was the hotel my wife and I had stayed at all those years ago, and guess who I came across in there? It was that little brat! I'm not gonna say what I did to her, but yeah, I beat her ass. Anyway, now that that was taken care of, it was time to do whatever I needed to do in here, which was breaking walls, reading letters, eradicating monsters, going into 100 different rooms, picking up keys, using keys, rethinking all of my life choices, and trying my hardest to figure out where to go next. The more I explored the place, the more secrets I seemed to uncover. I did puzzle after puzzle after puzzle, fight after fight after fight, and just when I thought I'd made it to the end of this hellish nightmare, I was shown the cruel, hard truth. You see that there? That there is a book I needed to shoot down to advance the game, right at the end, after everything I'd been through. But wait, it's not over yet, boys, listen up. Now yes, this book is completely impossible to recover without shooting the glass, but do you really think that's the only solution? Huh? No, I simply cheated. See, normally you'd shoot the book down, put it on a shelf, and do a bunch of other BS that would get you the code to a briefcase, which in turn would get you the key for the next area. But guess what I did? I just looked up the briefcase code.
You could call it cheating. I call it strategy. Shit.
Using a little mermaid figure on a puzzle box in the main lobby, I was able to get a 3rd floor key, and this key led me to the room my wife and I had stayed in the last time we were in Silent Hill. There was a VCR waiting for me there, and oh wow, would you look at that? I just so happened to have a tape. So I slid that baby in there, sat down, and watched. Ah! Oh, wait, that's just me. It's my own reflection. On the tape was my beautiful wife, my sweet Mary, and she looked so happy. But then, at the same time, there was new footage mixed in with the old. It showed me walking up to her with a pillow in the middle of the night as I suffocated her. I'd killed her. So this whole time then, I'd been chasing the ghost of my wife that I'd killed earlier that day? And I'd been putting myself in harm's way for no good reason at all. Wait, that also meant there was no moral reason to not get with Maria. My wife was dead and I didn't have to... Oh, right. Every woman I fall in love with dies because of me. I kind of blacked out for a bit after that, and when I came to, the hotel was all gross and disgusting. It gave me Nikocado avocado vibes, not gonna lie. On my radio, I could hear Mary's voice. She was asking me where I was, begging for me to come save her. Oh my god, she was still alive! I knew it! I went out looking for her right away, making my way through that rotten building in search of my beloved. Because I had a feeling the end was near, I took one final inventory, and I couldn't believe the amount of loot I had. Since the very beginning, I'd saved up 708 handgun ammo, 106 shotgun shells, 50 rifle ammo, 9 syringes, and 11 health drinks. I'd be selling all this for profit when I got back home, but anyway, who cared about that? Mary needed my help. After making my way through most of the hotel, I came across some steel doors, and inside was Maria and 2 pyramid heads. They had her hanging upside down, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it. I begged them to let her go, to let us both leave in peace since she was all I had left. And guess what they did? The final battle with the pyramid heads commenced, and I fought back hard, trying my very best to dodge and weave between the two of them while also getting some pipe hits in. But to be honest, it wasn't going well. 2v1s were a nightmare. I'd even argue unfair. I died again and again and again. I died so many times, I began questioning my skills in this game. But each time I did, I learned how these big boys worked. I pushed on, swinging after every dodge, doing my best to avoid their attacks and healing off to the side where they couldn't reach me. It was easily the most difficult battle I'd fought in since arriving in Silent Hill, but I wasn't gonna stop now. They'd killed Maria, man. They needed to pay. But me fighting them was a fool's errand. They were way too strong as a unit, and I just couldn't keep up. They smacked me around like a child, had me checkmated at the end of it all, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it. It was over. Until this happened. Oh my god. I knew there had to be some kind of symbolism here, but I was too brain dead to figure it out. It was time to get the hell out of here. I followed the only path up and out of there, and when I came to the roof of whatever building I was inside of, I found Mary waiting for me at the top. Oh, I was so relieved. So I hadn't killed her after all. Oh shit, oh never mind, she's a demon, boys. Well, that doesn't deter me one bit. See, I'm not opposed to beating my wife in self-defense. You hear that, Mary? I killed you once and I'll do it again. This battle was insane. My sweet little ray of sunshine shot little packs of butterflies at me as she attacked me from above. Thankfully, her head was at pipe level, so I was able to cave her skull in with every swing. She did get some hits in every now and then, but I was full to the brim on healing items. It wasn't even a problem. I continued beating my wife, trying my best to avoid her little butterfly traps, and dodged her attacks when I could. I'd won the first place prize in a pinata hitting competition in 7th grade, so I wasn't overly concerned. But man, was she ever hitting me hard. In that moment, the strength of 100 past generations flowed through me as I pounded that woman's skull into the dirt, and as my healing items dwindled down to almost nothing, I gave my Mary one final swing which sent her into her spider phase. The floor collapsed from under me, and all I could do was pray as my wife and I duked it out underground. She'd crashed through the ceiling looking like a dried up opossum, and I'd crack her a few good swings, and this continued until I was brought back up to the surface. By this point, my heals were on life support, and I was afraid that if I died now, I'd have to start over from the very beginning. So I fought her with everything I had, swinging, dodging, taking a hit, swinging, dodging, taking another hit, and when all was said and done, I only had a single heal left. It was now or never. I waited for Mary to appear in front of me, charged at her like a Scottish patriot, and gave her the most brutal combo of her entire life. Mary was defeated, and I was finally free of my guilt. Back in town, I came across the little girl I'd beaten up at the hotel. She seemed a little hesitant at first and looked like she was about to run away, but I made sure to show her I meant no harm. I gave her a letter I wrote telling her how sorry I was and that even though she deserved worse, I should have acted my age. I should never have put my hands on her. And so, she accepted my apology, and I adopted her. The two of us left Silent Hill together, never to return again. So, was I able to beat Silent Hill 2 without guns? Absolutely, buddy. Just look at this end screen. The 0 enemies killed by shooting and number of shots fired were also 0. Don't worry about the total windows destroyed though, okay? I definitely don't have a problem or anything. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to me and click that bell. Make sure you click that bell because I have a lot of great stuff cooked up for this year, okay? A lot of great stuff. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see more Silent Hill videos in the future because I had a lot of fun with this game, and I'll see you thick boys very, very soon.